Now, you know this case by now. A lot of it's to do with us, actually, the way we have exposed this. This man has to be championed, I believe. A restaurateur named Naveen Polapadi, a law-abiding citizen, is a victim of theft and vandalism. Cops don't do very much about it. Finally, he decides to act himself, allegedly. The police react by telling the career criminal to go, but arresting and charging the citizen. Calvin Berry is his lawyer, but one of his lawyers, I didn't know this. We were just chatting before the show. This has been ongoing now since last summer. Well, the offense was August of last year. Right. And then it has to make its way through the courts, disclosure, and meeting with the prosecutor. So it takes quite a while because Old City Hall is just such a busy court with so many charges. So why I mean, it was really only, it came to public attention, I think, last Wednesday. So why so long? He just decided that he wanted to speak, and there's not much you can do about that if somebody is, if they want to do that. And he has found it stressful with the allegations hanging over his head, and his wife has been upset, and he's got 2 kids, and so he wanted to speak out. Right. So, I mean, where do I start on this? There's a lot of crime. I mean, Toronto's a fairly safe city, but there are bad people. There are gangsters. There are criminals who need to be dealt with. And most of us see on a pretty regular basis people who commit minor crimes that the cops don't seem to react too much. Here we have, and the allegations are, someone with a criminal record who's been vandalizing, who's been damaging this man's property. He asks the police for help. You know, it's not always easy for them. They can't. Finally, he decides, right, I'm going to do it. I will take action. I will stop this man. The police come, they catch the criminal, they say, insufficient grounds to charge him, but we're going to charge you. And if I read this rightly, one of the offences he's charged with could lead him to a 14-year prison sentence and would thus require a jury trial. This must be costing huge amounts of money. Well, it technically could have at the get-go, but what routinely happens as a prosecutor is they've gone by summary conviction. And the chili spice administered noxious substance offense is, ironically, because it's kind of an archaic offense, it's got a 2-year indictable, so you could have a jury trial on that. But they've gone summarily, so they're treating it like a misdemeanor. And so it now would not be a judge and jury trial. Right. So throwing the spice in his face. I mean, this is like a joke. Why the hell is this man paying, and with all due respect, why is he paying you and others, if you are being paid, I don't know, but all these lawyers, all these cops, all this time, why? Well, there's a lot of factors that go in the hopper, and then police are, you know, a lot of times they're very busy. I mean, the divisions in Toronto. I see a lot of them parked illegally, getting coffee and chatting to each other and having a good time. Are they really that busy? Well, the ones I see work pretty hard, but I'm just saying that they looked at what they had. Mr. Polapati had some language difficulties. There's videos from different angles that he kept because he had put security in because he was concerned about the vandalism to his business, which is his home, and where his 2 kids live with him upstairs, and his wife. And so they're reviewing, the Crown Attorney is what we were having the Crown Attorney review the videos to show this assailant, as we call him, was coming to this gentleman's home a number of times and broke into his SUV and stole his GPS and stole his computer. So how many offences, alleged offences, do I have to say alleged throughout all of this? Yes, technically they're alleged. So how many times did this guy, who has a record apparently? Yeah, according to the police when they were interviewing him, yes. Right, so he has a criminal record. And the allegation, he came how many times to the victim? A number of times, but definitely we have recorded him coming 3 times. And the cops didn't arrest him at any time? No, they did not. But, I mean, technically they still could, but he wasn't arrested with the theft of the items from the SUV. Now, this man has a restaurant. I know a little bit about the restaurant business. It's very hard to make a living, and you probably know. I mean, they work 18 hours a day. His family living there. It's a typical immigrant story. And by the way, David Chen also had language problems. And there seems to be a certain theme developing here. If the police can't quite understand you, is it that the white guy we're going to take the side of? Is that what happens? No, I would disagree with that, Michael. I think that to lay a charge is reasonable probable grounds, a very low threshold, beyond a reasonable doubt when you get to the court. The Crown Attorney, I'm going to have a number of meetings with the prosecutor and basically say there's no reasonable prospect of conviction. This guy's defending his home, defending his family, defending his property, self-defense, and that they shouldn't go ahead and they should terminate the proceedings. If that doesn't happen,
then we're going to have a trial, and that'll be a number of months down the road, just because Old City Hall is a busy
How much
courthouse.
is this costing this man who's only just making a living with his family running a restaurant?
Well, it's not cheap for defense criminal counsel and fees and so forth, but I can't really comment on that, but I can tell you that it's
a sizable
not
amount
free.
of money.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And
let me ask you, and again, it's not fair to ask you in a way because you're defending him, but in what way is Toronto, Ontario, Canada a safer and better place in persecuting this man? The career criminal is free to do whatever he wants to do. He's laughing at the whole thing. Lawyers are making money, police are making money through overtime and so on. And yet the poor man who came to this country and wants to do the right thing is being victimized. And there can be heart conditions, breakdowns, stress, trauma, depression. If we read about this happening in another country, we would say, thank God we're not like that.
Yeah, well, everything in fairness, it's a case-by-case basis, and a lot of things happen, and a lot of times when I prosecuted many cases and defended many when there was a bar fight downtown in the entertainment district, and the police are just trying to do their best and sort what's going on, and they grab the guy that's got the broken nose and the blood coming from his head. The other guy has no injury on him. Now, when you piece it all together, the guy that's not injured might have been the person that was defending himself as being attacked, but the bigger guy got the worst of the fight, maybe. Or the
very different, though, isn't it? I mean, that's fully understandable. And the cops who are down there in the entertainment district, they're actually doing a decent job. This is a man, is it, not Bloor West, but just a bit outside of west of downtown. It's pretty...
Hard-working gentleman, and he's been in Canada for 8 years from India. He probably works 70 hours a week in that business.
You've been on both sides. You're an experienced lawyer. Now, maybe I'm just being absurdly nostalgic here, but it seemed to be a time when a cop in such a situation would say to the career criminal, listen, you got away lucky with this guy. It could have been worse. Now, you go to hell. I'm not going to use the language I could do, and don't do this again. And you say to the guy at the store, in future, call us. You don't immediately go and prosecute and waste time and money. Have things really deteriorated to that point?
I don't think so. I mean, I've seen there's a lot of discretion, and police do utilize discretion.
Do they?
It's a case-by-case basis, because I've defended and prosecuted all across Ontario. So
you think this would have happened 20 years ago? You think that we had the same cops patrolling the streets 20 years ago?
It may or may not, and that's just my assessment of it. I think that the government should change the law, self-defense, defense of property, so the Mr. Polipadis of the world will know what they can do and not do. I mean, he called 911 also, but I mean, the Conservative government, to their credit, this will help to clarify self-defense, which is so confusing, even for judges.
He should have said it was a hate crime, then he would have had all of Queen's Park and Federal Parliament and thousands of cops there. Thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for your time.
Thank you.